Good morning. This is Marnie with Crystal Cruises, and I'm just so delighted that you have the time and opportunity to join us to learn more about our 6-star luxury product today. So welcome to the world of Crystal. We are delighted and honored that, again, we have been voted the world's best cruise line by Condé Nast. That's 20 years for us. And also from Travel and Leisure, we've been voted for 18 consecutive years the world's best cruise line. So thank you for your vote of confidence and that of your clients for bestowing this delightful honor on us. The Crystal difference, what really sets us apart, are service, space, quality, and the choices aboard. So we'll be painting a picture of this to give you a really clear feel of what makes Crystal Crystal. Starting with service, we are known for hiring for attitude and then training for skill because it's really all about finding solutions. There are so many different types of luxury consumers, and luxury is defined differently by many people. But what we do find is we work to find a solution to help people's dreams come true throughout their holiday. One quick story for you is a friend of mine did her first Crystal cruise about a year ago. And the first evening, she went to one of the bars and asked for blue cheese stuffed olives. And the bartender said, "I'm so sorry, but that's the only type of olive we don't have in the bar." Well, the next night she went to the bar, and the bartender said, "Oh, good evening, Diane, lovely to see you. And here are your blue cheese stuffed olives, and we've put them in all of the bars on board, all of the venues in Crystal for you." So that's the Crystal way. We really try to anticipate needs. We have an excellent connection with guests from the moment they step aboard. We make you feel welcome, and you are part of the Crystal family. Our ships both have beautiful indoor and outdoor spaces. What's remarkable is you'll never feel like you're on the size of ship that we are. It's more or less approximately 60,000 tons and more or less about 1,000 guests, but you feel like you're on a small ship with so many intimate spaces, and again, this chance to connect with newfound friends and family as you're cruising. We invest heavily to keep both of our ships completely up to date. Our most recent redesign was on the Crystal Serenity. We finished that in November, and I'm going to give you just a brief ship tour of the Serenity this morning. With the redesign, we completed the 4 Crystal penthouses, and you'll see they look like a beautiful, swank, open, Hong Kong-style apartment. What the pictures, however, don't capture, and what's hard to express by webinar, is the feel of the goods, the feel of that beautiful, soft, comforting carpet under your feet as your hands grace the high thread count cotton and linens, and when you put your hand on the armrest of a chair to feel the beautiful quality of the products. Again, tough to capture in an image, but hopefully this sense that you see of the beautiful Crystal penthouses, you're starting to get a feel of our product. And we have beautiful verandas in the Crystal penthouse. The veranda is actually in the middle of the whole living space, so the bathroom ends on one side and the living space on the other, so it's a completely private veranda, a unique selling point to the Crystal penthouse. The Lido Cafe was also recently done in November, and you can see these beautiful dining stations compared to the classic long Lido buffet type line. So again, really open, beautiful presentation to enjoy a number of different Crystal delights food-wise. And moving into my new favorite place on the Serenity, we have installed 4 living walls, and it's so remarkable to have live plants on a ship. I don't know of any other cruise where you will see so much beautiful live vegetation. And we also have an herb garden so the chefs can come and cut herbs for the fresh preparation of the food. And as you see to the right of the image, there's also this lovely sitting area around the living walls. It's beautiful by morning, afternoon, and evening. And in the evening, this area is the Taste Restaurant, and the Trident Grill is right around the corner, so you can enjoy a global street fair cuisine and have samples of a lot of different foods. Depending on where we are in the world, the menu will be inspired by the destination. And with Crystal, Everything except shore excursions and your spa treatments are included. So if you feel like having a little scoop of ice cream in the afternoon as you're meandering through, feel free to tempt yourself. A few more images of those lovely living walls here in the herb garden. Everything is, again, just so open, relaxing, and inviting. You feel and sense that feng shui inspiration at sea. And moving into other stateroom categories, I'm going to walk us through the penthouse staterooms and then move down to the category P1, P2, and lower. But you'll see, regardless of the category, our staterooms are beautifully appointed with lots of light and ample room for comfort. And the Serenity and the Symphony are very similar with the feel of the rooms. This is apropos, a beautiful space for shopping on board. We have this separate little room here that you can see to the left. And whether it's the onboard shopping experience or the shore excursion experience on Crystal, we answer any of the luxury consumer's wishes. So for example, here, a gentleman could buy a lovely $130,000 ring for his traveling wife or companion, or you could have a shore excursion up to $40,000 for a MiG fighter jet tour in Russia. Or conversely, you could buy something perhaps of a $40 value with a Crystal logo in the logo shop. So really, as luxury is defined so differently by different guests, we answer to the different wishes. Our wish is your command. And the beautiful space outdoor, the pool area, always ample sitting for guests, whether it's this intimate, cozy sitting or enough room for a family to join together. Now we're going to move into the Crystal Symphony. Since we've already seen what the staterooms look like, I'm going to just move into the public spaces here. We have a number of venues, as I mentioned, so you feel like, even with the size of the ship, you feel like it's so small. So if you want to join for an afternoon cocktail or perhaps late into the evening, hear a lovely performance of a pianist, have delightful conversation with your fellow traveling companions and new to you friends, moving into the Galaxy Lounge where we have really world-class entertainment each night. And I'd also like to highlight a growing segment for us is absolutely the family market. We have seen the number of family groups grow. It's doubled from 2009 through 2013 when we look at our source of business. So with that, we are really pleased to have a 6-star luxury product and also have children's programs and facilities. We have Waves and Fantasia, so one is more appropriate for the teenagers, the young teenagers, and the other for the 11 and under age bracket. And we also offer babysitting on board, although there is a nominal charge for the babysitting services. This is the beautiful Palm Court on the Crystal Symphony where we have our daily high tea service, the afternoon high tea. And once a week we have a beautiful Mozart-inspired high tea where our staff will dress in the period costumes of turn-of-the-century Vienna, and you'll feel like you're in a pastry shop in Europe with the beautiful, delectable delights of all tastes and sizes. And the Palm Court by evening turns into a lovely venue for dancing. I just think it's such a stunning space at sea, and you, again, don't feel like you're on a cruise ship. Moving into the quality of Crystal Cruises, the quality and the attention to detail is remarkable on so many levels and lots of surprises for you. For example, all of our concierges are a member of Clef d'Or, which is, as you know, the top, the cream of the crop for the concierge, so tremendous attention to detail. We even have a cheese sommelier, so if you paint a picture to the cheese sommelier of, oh, I'd like a Tasmanian cheese that has an inspiration of an apple flavor, we'll be able to find exactly what your palate is wishing for. We offer early embarkation, and this really sets such a beautiful tone for the entire voyage. When you arrive, you can check in as early as noon, and we invite you to join us for a champagne lunch. And by the time you've completed your lunch, your luggage will be awaiting you in your stateroom, so you can comfortably come on and not have to worry about the long queues of other larger ship experiences. The new Pure staterooms, so this just started in November, the category P1 and P2 starting this March, are the two category types where we have the pure rooms. And really for any guest who is looking for hypoallergenic pillows, or a really clean space, we use Australian tea tree oil as part of the process. And all of these staterooms are connected as far as the ductwork, so you're not going to have air coming in from any of the outdoor spaces or venues where there could potentially be somebody smoking, for example. And with that, we have changed the smoking policy, so we no longer allow guests to smoke in the staterooms. As you can see here, there's just a few set areas, which I think is terrific. If guests want to have that opportunity, there are a few spaces that we will accommodate that, but otherwise you'll find really beautiful fresh air on Crystal. Moving into the choices on board, I'm just going to start right away with our beautiful enrichment. We're finding so many guests are bringing iPads and other technology, and sometimes they don't really know the full capacity of the tools at their fingertips. Our technology concierge offers a beautiful service of helping guests set this up. We have a number of classes that we offer for the university, Computer University at Sea, whether it's Facebook classes or movie making. We've partnered with the University of Southern California, USC, Cinematic Arts, and that is really the cream of the crop for Hollywood producers and a lot of their staff. So when you see these top box office movies, rest assured they've likely gone to USC for some of their training. And to have this program at Sea, it's very much like a university level course. It's delightful and intense and offers the enrichment that a lot of our guests are seeking. If you are looking for a fit for your client who is more into the true wine and food type voyage with the focus of that, or perhaps a golf themed voyage or microbrews, every year Crystal has a number of departures where we have this specific focus to help you with your sales efforts. And again, a reminder that all of the wine and the beers and non-alcoholic beverages are included, unless, of course, you're looking for a 200-year-old bottle of scotch, then there would be an additional charge. But otherwise, these beverages, these courses, and lectures that I'm discussing here today are included in the value of your Crystal cruise. To really bring the destination alive, we also invite renowned lecturers in various ports, or for example in Istanbul we invite not only dignitaries but the whirling dervishes to do a performance for our guests. So no matter where you are with Crystal in the world, if you're looking to really have a connection with the destination, we bring the destination alive. Other experiences on board, we have a beautiful gym facility, the spa. Again, the spa, there is an additional charge, but any of those yoga, Pilates, other workout classes, we have a walk on water where you can wear Nordic weighted vests and walk around the ship and connect with other guests that way for your fitness. All of that will be included for you. And also a professional golf instructor on every voyage, so you can have the lesson of golf and really gain some great insight into your golf game. Moving on to the dining story, no luxury cruise on Crystal would be complete without beautiful meals of many locations and types. Whether it's 24-hour room service or perhaps starting with your breakfast on your private veranda or in the Lido or the Crystal dining room, there are choices throughout the day. So starting from breakfast, moving into the lunch, you can again join us in the Crystal dining room or a beautiful changing menu in the Lido space daily. And you can see just the beautiful open bar space design as you meander and decide what will whet your palate today. For the Crystal dinner experience, we have the classic main dining and classic late. It is important to put these requests in early, because the earlier you book, and many of you are booking very far in advance, the earlier you book this request, the more likely you are to have exactly your guest wishes. And all of our specialty dining, the first specialty dining experience in any of the venues is included in the value of the Crystal Cruise. And the most popular is Silk Road and the Sushi Bar, which is inspired by Nobu Matsuhisa. This is really a tremendous value and books up early. So as soon as you've made the final payment, you can make the reservations for all of these dining experiences. If guests are so fortunate and interested to have a second dining in any of these restaurants, there would be a $30 per guest charge. But again, that first experience is complimentary. Prego's are beautiful, as you can see, Italian and just a wonderfully inspired restaurant, completely different from the Nobu experience. But it's really wonderful to be on a ship and feel like you can have samples of different types of cuisine in a beautiful setting with the highest quality of produce and food from around the world. The Vintage Room is the only dining experience where you're going to have really an extra charge regardless of when you select it. And the reason is this is a really special experience. When you normally go to a fine restaurant and you're selecting a wine, the wine is paired to match the food. The Vintage Room is unique in that we pair the food to match the wine. And in this case, the cost of the Vintage Room, it's approximately $200 per guest, and it's a dinner of only 12 to 14 guests depending on which ship. And the cost is really covering these true vintage selections of wine, beautiful collections from even 100 and more years old. So it's a real treat and a beautiful place to have a celebration. Then, of course, the bistro, we're now open from 9 in the morning until 11 at night, and the type of offerings will vary. Starting in the morning, we have the beautiful specialty coffee bar and fruits and pastries, and then moving all throughout the day, we'll change what we're offering until we arrive in the evening with the tapas and dessert. So this is a beautiful place to have a little snack if you're feeling peckish. Our entertainment by evening is, as I mentioned, world class. Elton John, it's not the real Elton John, but the Rocket Man performance, you would never know that this gentleman is not the real Elton John. His performances are so engaging and alive in the diva performance honoring Barbra Streisand. The music, the sound quality, exceptional. Illuminate, we just launched that last year, and it is really amazing to see Illuminate at sea. We shut the doors. It's a 30-minute performance. Turn the lights out, and all you see are lights moving across the stage. Really exceptional. Magic Castle at Sea, again included, but you'll need to get tickets at the library. So tell your clients to go to the library to pick up their complimentary tickets. The performances are for no more than 25 guests, and depending on how many guests want to enjoy this, we will add performances throughout the cruise. And Magic Castle itself is a Los Angeles family-based organization with world-class magicians, and the performances are going to vary depending on which magician is aboard. So every few weeks or so we have a different magician from Magic Castle. And for those traveling with families, we also have a performance where we're doing the Magic Castle for children, and the magician will teach the kids some magic tricks. By evening, part of the nightlife would not be complete without dancing on board, and we have 4 to 6 hosts on every Crystal cruise. So if the ladies don't have a dancing partner, or perhaps their husband isn't in the mood to dance, but they still want to get their feet out there, every Crystal voyage will offer the Ambassador program. And the lounges, if you're joining us for a beverage or just some conversation, delightful conversation with your fellow travelers, the lounge closes when the last person leaves. We've updated our evening dress code. We have seen a shift where some people are still keen to wear the black tie, and some perhaps want to wear the tuxedo without maybe the tie, but we have black tie optional, more resort casual evenings than before, and more elegant casual. The thing to remember is we still do not allow jeans or shorts in the dining room in the evening, so you still have that beautiful feel aboard Crystal. Moving into the destinations, you have all of the destinations at your fingertips on our website. When you go to crystalcruises.com in the upper right-hand corner, you can type in a city name, and any voyage that includes, for example, Barcelona or Rome will populate. So if you have a guest who calls you and they say, I want to go to Quebec City in October, you'll be able to find that easily at your fingertips. One thing to highlight with our voyages is those marquee ports where guests we find historically want to spend more time. We offer more overnights. So again, these Romes, Istanbuls, Barcelonas, those types of ports, we feature in St. Petersburg 2 nights or 3, so the guests can really engage in the destination. Because we have such a high repeat factor with our Crystal Society, any guest who's cruised with us before is Crystal Society, we're also always looking at maiden calls, so a number of maiden calls in 2014, 2015, and beyond. Part of the other experience with any voyage is, of course, the land side. It's not just the destination of the crystal ship or the destination where you are in the world, but how do you really engage with that destination? Our boutique adventures are shore excursions, really, that are for no more than about 25 guests. And we have customized experiences that no other cruise line or tour operator does. For example, in Corfu, we had partnered with a small museum, and the curator of the museum offered painting lessons. In France, we had this lovely lady who owns a winery, and she had a beautiful feast for 12 at her table with wine from her vineyard. So really beautiful, intimate experiences. But again, looking at the varied luxury consumer, not all guests want to participate in boutique adventures or shore excursions. Some people just want to wander ashore and enjoy the city at their own pace. What I really appreciate on Crystal is we keep our tour desk open. So it's not just that we're selling shore excursions during the voyage. If guests don't want a shore excursion, and there are many who want to be independent, we offer free city maps, and if the heart of the city is not right there at the ship, then we'll offer a shuttle to bring you into town. Going briefly into our 2014 destinations, with the Crystal Symphony and the Crystal Serenity, we're traveling all around the globe. And I'm just going to highlight a few really interesting voyages, I think, for this year. Voyage 4316, Barcelona to Monte Carlo, especially for somebody who's not tasted Crystal Cruises before. A 7-day voyage is a really good introduction to give you a flavor. And moving into some opportunities for October, which would be fall in Canada and New England, a beautiful voyage from Quebec City to New York. So this is also really quite popular. And one that I haven't included a slide on but is really interesting is Voyage 4229. Take a look at that. It's a round-trip Singapore with the lovely focus in that Asian area with beautiful opportunities on board and ashore. So that round-trip Singapore is very interesting. Moving into 2015, we are again going to be calling in a number of countries, over 32 countries and 70 ports of call all around the world. And think of us really as kind of chasing the sun as we move around the world. But for our world cruise, we're really delighted to offer Round Trip Miami, and it's a complete circumnavigation of the globe. Amazingly, we are sold out for the world cruise, but if you have clients who feel like they still want the chance to join this, we are accepting wait lists, or we have recently opened our 2016 voyages for booking. So the 2016 World Cruise is also available with space for booking. And moving into some other really interesting destinations for you, Voyage 5205, another round-trip Singapore voyage in 2015. Some other close in Asia voyages, Singapore up to Hong Kong. And Hong Kong to Beijing is interesting because with our Beijing voyages, we always include the 3-day overland package, which takes you to Tiananmen Square, the Great Wall, the Forbidden City. However, if guests have experienced Beijing before and they want to do something different, we can back out that included package. The Crystal value story, we've seen a lot of the value this morning, but I want to again highlight that the gratuities are included, the complimentary fine wines and champagnes, the beautiful dining of Nobu and Prego. The idea is to be really convenient and set a tone on board that makes guests feel comfortable and relaxed. This is their holiday and very valuable time that they're spending with us. Now, the Book Now fares change every 2 months. With the recent fares that changed from February 28th to March 1st, we increased the prices on over 60 voyages. So every 2 months, we'll take a look at the inventory, and those voyages that have sold very well, we continue to increase the prices, or another way to look at it is decrease the Book Now savings. So it does behoove our guests to book with you and deposit early so that they have the best pricing opportunity. If your guests are choosing to cruise with us in a penthouse suite, whether it's a PH, a PS, or the Crystal Penthouse, the CP, our butlers will perform a wide variety of services, from assisting with 24-hour room service to pressing, packing and unpacking, the shoe shine, afternoon tea, or if you want to have breakfast out on your veranda, we are at your fingertips for assistance. And again, the Crystal Society, any guest who has cruised full fare at Crystal before is a member of Crystal Society. And we have the Crystal Society savings on every voyage, and you have that at your fingertips on the Crystal website. You'll see with the pricing of every cruise, if they are repeat guests, that savings amount will show up for you. And we offer a number of great milestones and onboard events. Now, a few tips for you on selling cruises. Who is a Crystal guest? It's interesting to know that 65% say destination is most important, but for some of them, the destination is not just geographically, but it's the Crystal ship as a destination. And 73% say they're likely to take another Crystal cruise within the next 24 months. With those, we find most of them are making onboard bookings, and when they do the onboard booking, the booking goes straight back to you. What's also interesting for you to find new to Crystal guests, 41% of the Crystal guests most recently had sailed with another brand, and many are moving up from premium into the luxury. And I think it's important when you're looking at the value proposition to recognize when you look at premium brands and you add up all the little things that people will do in a day, whether it's a specialty coffee in the morning, wine at night, champagne in the afternoon, perhaps it's the lecture or a yoga class or a Pilates class. When you look at all those things that on a premium brand you need to sign for and pay, you again start to see the real value of the Crystal product. Some other true price point values, we have a number of voyages in 2014 with the children sail free, and that is if they're the third berth in the room and they're under 17. So ask our local partners here. We will be able to help you choose the voyages where the kids are sailing free. Or another tool at your fingertips, we have a really excellent opportunity called the Family Memories Program. And with the Family Memories Program, think of it as a group promotion. As long as you have minimum six full-fare adults, you can qualify for the Family Memories Program. With that, the kids will always sail free if they're the third berth, 17 and under, just the port taxes. And we offer a $200 per guest shipboard credit, a beautiful photo package, and also a $500 credit towards a $2,500 minimum private adventure. So lots of opportunities for families. In 2016, I mentioned the World Cruise is open, but other voyages are also open for bookings. And we really thank you for your support, because we are seeing the guest book further and further out. And 2014 has a lot of very full sailings, but I don't want you to shy away from 2014 or 2015. We still do have space on a number of voyages, so please continue to encourage your guests to look at this year and next. And we really appreciate your support. Your business is fantastic, and we just see continued growth and repeat guests. So thank you so much for your time today, and we will be available after the webinar for questions. Feel free to send those in or contact any of your sales rep colleagues to assist. Thank you very much for your business. Good selling, and thanks for choosing Crystal.